for watching Panorama News live here on Nile TV International. I'm Tagharit Hussein, and here are the main stories making headlines for the day. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri meets his Czech counterpart. The Syria peace talks struggle to get off the ground. And Al-Qaeda seizes a southern Yemeni town. Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is to meet on Monday with the Czech Foreign Minister Lubomir Zaorálek, who is currently visiting Egypt. Earlier, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held talks with his Czech counterpart. The talks covered means of boosting bilateral relations in all fields, as well as the latest regional and international developments of mutual concern. In a press conference after the talks, Shukri and his Czech counterpart stressed on the depth of the historic relations between the two countries. The Czech Foreign Minister's visit follows a visit earlier last April by Shukri to Prague, during which the two sides agreed to boost relations with Egypt through the economic bloc that brings together the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia. We have with us over the phone Excellency, former diplomat, Ambassador Yahya Mr. Negm. Thank you so much for joining Nile TV. And if we talk about weighing the significance of the visit by the Czech Foreign Minister to Egypt, messages behind the visit.
Thank you very much, my pleasure. I would like to say that this visit is in the context of diversifying our foreign relations, especially with new countries, because we have focused for a long time on some specific countries, but right now we are trying to diversify our foreign relations, especially with countries like Czech Republic and East Europe. We have a traditional good relation with the Czech Republic since the 50s, since we had first arms deal with them in the time of President Nasser in the middle of the 50s. So we have good contact with them, we have traditional relations, we have experience with them. So far the relation with the Czech Republic was good if we compare it to other countries. After the 30th of June revolution in Egypt, the Czech Republic continued in their normal relation with us, providing us with what we need. That's why we should intensify the relations right now. Our economic situation is better, our security situation is better, so the horizons for enhancing these relations are open. I would like also to focus on our relation with such middle-sized countries like the Czech Republic. They are close to us in our experience, they are close to us in the technology-wise, in the economic wise, because big powers, they have their own interests and they have their own agenda in helping and aiding a country like Egypt. But medium-sized countries like the Czech Republic and developing countries are more close to us in their experience, in their circumstances, so we can benefit much more than the big powers that they have their own conditions. So I believe with developing countries and with countries advanced in technology like Czech Republic, in East Europe, we can do a lot, we can benefit a lot in the future.
Right. I guess, Mr. Negm, we have also another economic dimension to the visit, so it's definitely going to reflect on Egypt's relations with this economic bloc that includes the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and also Slovakia, right?
Yes.
So strengthening ties between Egypt and the Czech Republic and other significant cooperation fields that we need to enhance relations in.
Yes, we need so very badly because of, as I said, they are medium-sized countries. They are advanced in technology, they are advanced in their universities. We can send students to study there. We can have our postgraduate studies there. We can exchange academic visits. I believe this would help a lot. Otherwise, also the foreign investments from these countries also, they have accomplished some high level of economic development, so they have maybe some investments to look for outside their borders. And with the stability in Egypt, it seems that Egypt seems as a very promising market and very promising partner for them in the Middle East. We can open some other markets as the African markets or Arab markets for their exportations as well. If we enhance our maritime routes, our technological platform and our relations with our neighbors, we can be the gate for them to Africa, we can be the gate to the Middle East, and vice versa.
Right. Well, Excellency, former diplomat, Ambassador Yahya Negm, thank you so much for being with us on Panorama News. Prime Minister Sharif Ismail held an emergency meeting Monday with the Ministers of Housing, Interior, Electricity, Irrigation, Transportation and Local Development, in addition to a representative of the Ministry of Defense. The meeting was held to evaluate progress in developing the railway crossing points all over the country. The decision came as 7 people were killed and 2 others were injured in a railway crossing in Giza Governorate. Prime Minister ordered complete transparency in declaring the results of the investigation into the accident. Earlier, Ismail met with the head of the National Railway Authority after the accident. And for the 4th consecutive day, Egyptian military shipping coordination with the Sudanese authorities continued to search for 12 lost Egyptian fishermen in the Sudanese territorial waters. Earlier, the Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Sudi Subhi, ordered to send a military ship to rescue the fishing boat in the Sudanese territorial waters. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri also assigned his assistant for consular affairs to follow up on the reports about the fishing boat with about 14 fishermen on board. Egypt's General Consul in Port Sudan said that 2 of the fishermen were rescued and they are receiving medical care in a Sudanese hospital. The Ministry of Transportation announced on Monday in a statement that 1 person was killed, another injured when unknown gunmen opened fire on a security point affiliated to Road and Bridges Authority. The ministry said in a statement that the attack took place on the Ring Road near Marioteya area. And regionally and to Syria, the future of the biggest push today to end Syria's civil war looked highly uncertain, with the main opposition group threatening to walk away. The representatives from the umbrella body for mainstream opposition groups are refusing to enter the talks with President Bashar al-Assad's government. We have more details to follow.
UN Special Envoy for Syria faced an uphill task in Geneva to get talks to end the brutal civil war off the ground as the opposition hesitated to join negotiations with the Syrian government. Present in Geneva are the main opposition umbrella groups, the High Negotiation Committee, HNC, and representative of President Bashar al-Assad. Under an ambitious roadmap agreed in November in Vienna by all the outside powers embroiled in the war, the proximity talks are due to last 6 months. The plan envisions elections within 18 months, but the key question of the future of Assad, backed by Iran and Russia, was left until later to resolve. The urgency to find a solution of the 4-year war was brought home when multiple explosions killed 71 people near a revered Shiite shrine outside the capital, Damascus. The blasts were claimed by Daesh, the extremist group that is running swaths of Syria and Iraq, which has launched attacks worldwide, including in Paris in November, when 130 people were killed. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said the new atrocity in Syria was clearly aimed to disrupt the attempts to start a political process. The deaths added to the more than 260,000 people to have perished since 2011 in a highly complex conflict sucking in a host of outside powers and on different sides. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry urged the opposition to drop their preconditions, but also had hard words for their foes, accusing Assad's forces of deliberately starving besieged towns. Half the population has been displaced, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or risking their lives to travel to Europe, creating a major political headache there.
And to Yemen, where